Hey there, and welcome back to Scrap with Penny, where paper meets story. Today, this is our 4th live for month in review for April, and I'm so excited to be here. I got my little chat. Last month I had a problem with chat. The month before that I had a glitch, I had a freeze. So I'm going to knock on wood softly that there aren't going to be any problems today. If you're here joining me live, go ahead and drop in the chat where you're watching from. And if you're scrapping along with me, I would love to hear what it is that you're working on. So just to catch you up, I have been doing month in review using the older Scrapbook Generation month in review bundle, sketch number 10. Now that was designed with 21 photos. I have modified it, and let me show you the prior months. So first up, we did January, and it's right here. This one was my roughest one because I learned how to do the sketch actually on the live. I probably should have done a practice, but it's okay. You know, we're learning. And before it's all said and done, I'm probably going to add something here because that's what I started doing in February and March. So that's January. Love how it looks. And then we moved on to February, and you can see I did a different photo configuration. In January, I had all 4x6 down here. And then in February, I changed it up to 3x4s. Love that. Love that flexibility. And then for March, what did we do? We did a combo. We did some 4x6 and some 3x4s. And what I love about this sketch is the possibility to do what you need to do to make it fit your photos. So I think this month I've got, well, we'll see what I've got when we get there. Who knows? I probably won't be able to remember. So I also want to remind you, if you're watching this on replay, that I have a month in review playlist, which makes it maybe slightly easier to find and watch. And also, I've been wondering if you would like for me to do a live at another time, at a different time. I think I'm going to have to keep month in review at the 12:15 mark on a Monday, and that has to do with managing my mom's schedule and my husband's schedule. And I'm pretty set on it being, 12:15, but I could do a live on an evening or on a Saturday and just do a different topic. So let me know in the comments if that'd be appealing to you. I see we've got Sheila, we've got Brenda, we've got Anti-Caffeine Crafts. That's cute. And Nicole with Colibing is here. Good morning, everyone. So let's see. The other thing I want to talk about real quick is the memorabilia. So one thing we're going to have to tackle before the end of this project is memorabilia, and I keep it in this envelope. I think I got these from the Container Store years ago, and I do a very, professional label on it. 2024. And so, pardon me. And so straight from Janet at RTS, she did a memorabilia page in the back of her album, and I'm leaning toward that as well, but I just want y'all to know that I've got it on my radar. I've got some stuff to incorporate, and I don't know where to put this giant envelope now. I'll put it over here. So I wanted to mention that. And then, so I know after we finish 2024, I'm going to hop to 2016. I'm already browsing sketches. I've got 2 contenders. I'm going to stay with the Simple Stories Noteworthy. So I'm going to have 2024 in Noteworthy and 2016 in Noteworthy. Okay. So I am enjoying this series so very much. I appreciate you being here to support me, and I hope that you're benefiting from it. And as I say, if I can't inspire you, at least maybe I can, maybe I can entertain you. All right. So we'll get right into I am loving this collection the more I work with it. And these are the 3 papers that I selected for my feature photos that'll go on my cardstock. This is my foam title I've selected this month. Here's my little calendar card. Now, this is actually from Hello Today, but I think it works. And then I pulled my 4 from the Noteworthy die cuts, and then I made my little April. So on my calendar, I'm using this My Favorite Things die, and it's a 3x4 notebook card die, and I trim it up, and it gives it a little rounded corner, and then the notebook edge. And then these are the dies I'm using on the month, and it's called marker, like as if it were written with a marker. So I've got January to June and July to December. And I picked these up from Echo Park Direct on Black Friday. I love how they are working and creating a nice little subtitle. Okay, so is that all my housekeeping? I think so. Hi, Maria. I support sneaking in from work for a little bit. That's kind of, we call that kind of workish. I will say that I did a little bit of a cheat this month. I trimmed most of my photos in advance, and I just did that because I'm trying to keep this right at an hour, and I ramble and talk too much, I guess. So I'll finish this last trim on camera. I have shared that I use the low tack. Hey, Tina, I'm so glad you popped in. And I'm happy to keep you I'm happy to keep you company while you work. So I use this low tack mint tape. I get 2 of my sides good, and then what I can do is come up right against this and then come at it again, and then I've got a consistent trim on my photos. And I think that, I mean, that's important to me. I've got a little bit of a rough edge there. Of course I do. Okay. All right. Once it's taped down, it should be fine. So that's the last of my photo trimming. And let me go ahead and trim my big paper. Oh gosh. I'm trying every month, I'm trying to be a little more efficient at this. So before I bring my trimmer up to the desk, let me get my washi ready to trim. The Noteworthy collection does not have a stripe in it. And so I elected to use the Vanessa Bell trick and put the washi onto some cardstock and thereby kind of create a stripe. So I'm just going to bump it right up against this. And this is actually, I've already got one made for today, but I like to do one of these on camera so you can know the trick in case you've never seen it before. And then we just trim off the ends. What you get on this is a little bit more stability from the washi product, and it's not see-through. Now we're going to use the second piece of washi at the bottom, but we're going to let that one be a little bit opaque. So let's get the big trimmer up. What kind of trimmer do y'all use for your 12 by 12 paper? You know, I'm a precision girl, and I love this big guy. And also, I want to only really have one in the space. I don't like having to have 2. I do have one, an old Fiskars, on standby for gutting. But when I'm not using that, it lives up in an upper cabinet. Okay, I think this is great. So see, you just get this nice, it's got substance, it's got weight to it, got a little bit of heft. Now at the bottom of every layout, we're doing a 4-inch strip with this Echo Park wood grain paper. And I'm going to tell you now that this is about 11 and 15/16 wide. So we're going to run the shortage to the outside edge, and then we'll trim that up after our page is done. Let's get our branding strips off of our basil. This is French vanilla, and it's just kind of, it's just a background. It's just serving as a background. Y'all, I tried to crate Sophie. She was in there crying. Now she's already ringing the bell to go outside. Lord help me with that dog. Okay. So then on these, let me get this branding strip off. And I've already used this once. You can see that. Fiskars. Is it a rotary or a guillotine or what kind? One thing that I really love is not having to deal with any blade replacements. It's a self-sharpening blade, and I like that. I was pulling my paper selections last night, and the more I go along, the harder it's getting. And I'm kind of thinking maybe I need to take what I have left into the kitchen and lay it all out on the island and have a plan for the rest of it. I'm so afraid that I'm going to get to like October, maybe even before then, and have, you know, just ugly paper choices left. Okay, so we've got our paper trim, we've got our washi, and we've got our photos trimmed. We're doing good. Let me get it out of the way. You use scissors? That's really good. The roto trim, I had a friend recommend it to me, and I have to say I love it. It is very precise, and you can get just, you know, the smallest sliver. How am I doing on frame? I should be fine. I've got a bunch of screens open on my desktop. Well, let's see. We can start with our wood grain. We're going to put it at the bottom. Then we're going to put our top row up, and then we'll put our middle row on, and it'll, you know, kind of span the gap. I was pretty prepared for this today, but it is so nerve-wracking to have to sit here and watch for the clock to strike 12:15. I'm never on time. Sophie, I cannot let you out, girl. Let's see. You know, I think last month we said that, and then I think last month I let her up in the chair. Gosh, she's something else. We had a resurgence of winter here. My mom came downstairs this morning, and she goes, "It's a beautiful day." And I said, "Well, why don't you have your coffee on the patio?" I played a little trick on her. And so she's like, "I think I will." And she opens the door, and an Arctic blast hits her. I laughed too much. She goes, "Well, what were you thinking?" I said, "Well," I said, "to me, a beautiful day involves the temperature." So kind of funny. Oh my gosh. Do y'all have dogs that run your life? All right. So here I did kind of a different thing. I've got it all laid out, and I'm giving you a little sneak peek. And let's see. This yellow is going to go up here. So we'll do that next. And I like a little, you know, something underneath to help me make sure I'm going right up to the edge. Y'all know I'm so picky, but what I cannot stand is when I get it taped down and you can see just like a little sliver of cardstock showing through. And, you know, in this case, with it being the French vanilla, it would really bother me. I think this is the year that Basil is supposed to start returning. But until then, man, I'm still rationing it out like, you know, it's the precious. There we go. And so this is going to come down. Oh, yeah. I'm being so fast today. That's the problem with the Fiskars, is that if you need the blades, you're dependent on them. Sheila, when you say 3, I don't know what that means. I'm sorry, I didn't see it in context. Okay. Then this is going to go right in. The dog may win again. So on these photos in April, we had our oldest son and his wife were in Japan, and they had a puppy, and we agreed to watch the puppy while they were gone. So we had like 2 weeks of being a 3-dog house, and that was kind of nuts. Let's see. And I have a rare sighting. I'm in a picture with my Nashville kids, and that's because we met them in the middle twice to pick up the dog and then give them back the dog. I wasn't surprised when they decided to stay in Tennessee, but it doesn't mean I really loved it either. And then my youngest son and his wife, you know, they live in town. And since Gojo was a puppy and he was a little Frenchie, they were enamored of him. And so they came over. And of course, we had the solar eclipse. There's going to be a funny little photo of that in a minute. And then this is me and my mom. My husband went to see his, I can cover up this gap with, what's causing it though? Just trimming, I guess. So my husband went to see his family in New Mexico. And then while he was gone, my ex-brother-in-law came into town and we met them for dinner. Now, I didn't grab the picture of us going to dinner. Oh, Sophie. Everyone sees that you're so spoiled. I can't hide it in these lives. Okay. So this is down. And then let's come to the right side. And here's my prototype for it. So we can go ahead, look at this cute picture. So they're very into all things Japanese. They're big into anime, and she reads a lot of the, there's manga books. I'm going to sound not intelligent, but it was a big deal for them to get to go. And of course, Philip has played Pokemon probably his whole life. Oh, 3 dogs. Yes. That's a commitment. That's a vocation, really. I know I couldn't ever do 3. But I get it. I mean, to each their own, right? This is Let me come over onto this a little bit. Okay. I wanted I wanted that margin to show. And somehow I have lost a picture. That's not good. It's a picture of Steve and I. Huh. Interesting. There's going to be a plot twist every month, I guess. That's the nature of it. So this one that I taped down, that's the solar eclipse. So we live in a, they call it a high density neighborhood, and we love it. And we're very close. We know so many of our neighbors. We've never known as many neighbors as here. And we, Andrew and Jen were off. Gosh, y'all, where could that picture have gone? Oh, found it. Found it. And so Steve was at work and Mom was here. And so they came over and we DoorDashed Velvet Taco. And so we set out, we got our rockers off the porch and we sat out on the sidewalk and we stared up. And we also, I'm going to say, we DoorDashed some strong margaritas. And so later in the day, I have a picture of Jen crashed out on the couch. I will do a layout on this. I didn't talk about that. Let me talk about that real quick. So this is my stories to tell. And as I print my photos for my month in review, I'm identifying potential layouts that have a deeper story. So in February, we identified, I want to do Gojo Dog of the Week. That's primarily because Gojo crossed the Rainbow Bridge. Tomorrow's the 1-year anniversary of that. And so he was such a sweet little dog. And I had Valentine's Day. I did that in February. This is still February. It's been a long month. And then I didn't find anything in March. I mean, we did a big trip and that'll be its own project. But then for April, I want to do a layout, at least a single about the eclipse because it was such a fun day. And then I want to do a little trip recap of my Nashville kids going to Japan. And at some point, I'll get enough on here that I'll go in and type them in and I'll print up a refined sheet, a refined list. And then here's my 2021 that we worked on last year, which was kind of the impetus for me doing month in review this year live with y'all so that I could manage to get it done and not have another video to edit that I would, have to edit. And so let's see. So I'm going to do a detailed layout about the eclipse, but this was a fun little nod to it. And I will do that on my month in review. I will include one shot of everything so that it's comprehensive. And then after the fact, I can do breakout layouts that are story driven and detail the activity a little bit more. Okay, so here is our stripe. It's going to go right down here. All of our pictures are down. This is just Steve and I. So I kind of have a formula for my photos. I like one of each of the kids if I can get it. And this month I got 2. Well, I think I got 3 of Andrew and 2 of Jen. And then I always like a selfie of Steve and I. And then this is funny. So we love Papados. It's Cajun seafood. And this is a drink called the Swamp Thing. And he loves his cocktails. So, of course, when I went on my heart medicine, I was advised not to drink alcohol, and I could drink it in moderation, but I just decided it would be best if I just didn't drink any at all. So every once in a while, I might have one drink, but I don't make it a habit of just, getting a cocktail every time we go out. And I will say, Steve has kind of gone that route as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, he still will do what he wants, but it's mostly from maybe a calorie thing. So here's my little calendar. I can go ahead and Tina, I know that's what Nicole does with her month in review. She uses hers as a catch-all really for what didn't make it onto her other layouts. So not only do I have, a formula for what photos to select, I also have a formula for, and this is per the sketch, for where the 3 pieces of 4x4 paper go. And then I elected to put this little calendar up here, and I'm going to come over a little bit so I don't cover up little Coco, and I'm going to come up a bit. There we go. And let's see. I think the next thing I should do is trim up my journaling. I'm using this old Creative Memories circle cutter system, and I do mean old. And you can see here where I cut 3 little white Aprils to back behind my pink. And this is using Simple Stories Color Vibe cardstock. Okay, so on this, I have a Canva template for this. Someone asked about it last month. I moved it to Google, and I put a sheet out there that's instructions, and then a sheet you could use to modify. But I'm going to cut with the red blade. And we always cross our fingers and toes when we do this. It seems like the problem is I don't print the journaling enough in advance. I mean, I don't do it often enough to really remember the settings. And so every month when I'm doing this, I'm guessing on the printer settings. And, if you've ever worked with this, the blade, it really likes to dig down into this mat. And let's see. Okay, and that's what they always taught us, was to test and make sure it moves. There we go. So here, I mean, I'm just right up on the edge of that. And for my big, let me get this out of the way. Thank you, Sophie, for coming in to lay down and giving up on it. Let's see. I think what I'll do instead of laying it out is I'm just going to start taping it down. And one thing I did this month, I just got smart and I thought I don't need to cut all that much up there. The first month we did this, I did not put my white onto my circles, and then it was a little bit of a mess. So, like I said, you learn every month. And I think that's what, I love about scrapbooking, is that you can keep learning. It doesn't, it's not, it's not like you ever say, you know what, I've done it all. I don't think I need to do anything anymore. It's not that way. So I'm just going to eyeball this. It's got a little margin on it. And I hesitated to pull this text out, but I thought, you know what? I've got to use it. So, of course, it's a little off-centered. It may just stay off-centered. Let's see. Okay. And this is going to be my dominant piece over here. It's going to go right there. And I think we can put this one down first. On these circles, I'm just marking them with a pencil for where to cut them. Tina, what year are you working on Month in Review? I'm not. I've shared in prior months that I didn't have a great experience the first time out. And so then I was like, you know what, maybe that's not for me. So I kind of stayed away from it. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to try it again. And then I thought, well, maybe as empty nesters, we didn't have enough content for it. And so then I thought, I'm not going to do it because it's all the same stuff. But I have found that I like it. And I have found this year that I like it as a true double page spread versus, on my Disney right now, I'm doing what I call a feature page and a wallpaper page. And I like these Month in Review better as an official, a real double page spread. These circles aren't consistent from month to month, but I think it's okay. Like, in other words, the height of them. Because once you turn the page, nobody's going to be auditing my work. And thank goodness. Oh, hey, 2016, that's what I'm going to do next. So I've done 2014, 2015, 2021, and then this will be 2024, and then I'm going to go back. So I think what I'm going to do is like bounce back from really old to something more recent. And I do have Simple Stories for the Record queued up, and that'll probably be for like 2017 and 2025. And the thing is, they're not doing these lines every year. I don't know why. This one's coming together quick. So this is going to go right under here. I have a bad habit of coming down to the bottom of my desk. Trying to get this plaid straight. Would help if I had the paper straight. Okay, I think that's good enough. And then right here, we've got this little white piece that's going to go on top of this. Is that Life in Color? Did that have a lot of black in it? Like a really dominant black floral? This is so cute. So I'm going to rotate this. I don't care for this puce color in the floral, so I always try and hide it. And when I pick out these papers, I am looking for a contrast of, you know, light to dark, and, you know, making sure that I've got, so I wanted some, you know, yellow coming in. Oh, you know what? I need to get my washi down here on the bottom. Okay. Oh, I need to cut this one. These little ones are kind of hard to cut. So when you have something that's short that needs to be cut, you can tape it to something else. So this way, what I've got is, you know, I've got a tail to slide it under my trimmer. And I'm just going to eyeball that to be that. And then we've got one little stripe that needs to come over under this. That is sitting up on my photo a little bit. There we go. They have come a long way in their product offerings. You know, the old Snap stuff, and they did all of those 6x8 binder inserts. So here's my little green, my little stripe. And I have this one little cast off that it gives me my little bitty edge every month. So I just keep trimming away at it. Deb, if you're watching this on replay, you scared me about that washi, but I've done the math and I think I'm going to be okay. So Deb at Creative Adventures with Deb, she's like, you know, those are only 15 feet. And then I'm like, oh, great, something else to panic over. So this, I'm going to save that in the event that I want to force it on to the other side. And here we go. Here's our left side. We're done with this. And I pulled this because I want to try and work it in. And then, so another piece of my formula is every month I'm picking a little piece of chipboard and I'm picking a rub-on. So I kind of see this chipboard layering up against the phone, maybe bringing the floral into the mix. But I've been putting the little rub-on here. And I kind of wondered about, what if I did this little piece of notebook paper? It's kind of too close in color to the phone, though. I don't like that pink. I'm not ever going to be able to use the wood grain. I can't do that. Let's see. I could put something onto this. This is where all of my momentum comes to a big stop. Okay. Man, I can't decide. So it's okay. We can work on circles over here and we can put that right there. So then for my circles over here, let's start with the far left. And I've got this dark floral. I like it okay. I mean, it's probably my least favorite out of all of them. And on the sweet little white floral, in the 12 by 12, they don't replicate that. They instead give you that mint paper with the kind of like an asterisk on it, which I've used in a couple of other months. So it's curious to me that the 6x8 pad is different than, is this correct? Yeah, I'll go up to the stripe. So I can go ahead and trim this off. And if I choose to put it on the other side, I can. I'm going to store it right up here with this one. Sometimes having a variety between the 6x8 and 12 by 12 is nice, but then sometimes you're like, oh, see, I love this floral, but it's not in the 12 by 12 paper. I realize I'm doing this ATG out of frame. I'm sorry. Okay, so then we're just going to eyeball this. This is the one that kind of has the biggest margin, and it's because my dies, and I like this showing better at the bottom. My dies don't match up as well in that size. So we're going to go right here and right here. I shared at the beginning that picking this sketch was a bit of a stretch for me because of all the circles, but I'm enjoying them. It was nice to, you know, cut them all at once. And if you're watching this for the first time or you're just catching it, there is a planning video behind the scenes where I talk through all of my choices. Oh, we still need to do this washing. I mean, I think we're going to have to do it pretty quick here. Let's see, what's next? I have a little 1-inch that goes right here. And I'm repeating this. Let's see. That's good. And then this goes over here. Let's see. And I want it to be like this. Oh, I didn't talk about the sketch calls for stitching, and I opted out of stitching, but I did use some pierced stacks dies from My Favorite Things. And so I think you can see, yeah, right there. You can get a feel for the little stitched look. And that's always nice when you want a little bit of texture, but you don't want to actually have to stitch. And of course, I think maybe you could find those on eBay. I don't know. Okay, we're doing good. Of course, all of the slow part is coming up, all of the embellishment decisions. This goes, I think, underneath this. There we go. I love it. I love how it looks. I think, you know, when I was trying to pick the papers last night, of course, I was overthinking it a little bit. Let me set that up there, and we're gonna get our washi down because my next set of circles actually sits on top of the washi. So on this washi at the bottom, I don't put the whole strip on here. I like it to be a different width, and so I'm only putting 2 strips of the words and or 2 rows of the words. And so I'm gonna use this white piece of paper at the bottom to help me make sure I'm putting the bottom row on the bottom. Does that make sense? That I'm putting the bottom row onto the part I'm going to cut off. And, you know, where I'm working on it, having the white cardstock visible gives me a line for it. So then I just, come on, I just peel this off, and then I'm going to take this to my trimmer. Then we can repeat the process over here. I have a glass board. I love it. It's like always an extra set of hands, especially on something like this. And the other difference I wanted on this washi was I wanted it to be a little more opaque so that you get a different look. From this washi. Washi is kind of a fun word to say. Okay. So see, now I've got one little row I can trim off. Let me trim my sides first. I think I started saying a while ago that our allergens are kicking up outside. So winter's making a last little stand, but the mountain cedar it's out there, and man, it did a number on my dad every year, and it gets me too. So I'm trying to get this washi off my hands. Okay. Look, it's so stubborn. There. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this back up here real quick to trim this washi. I did this off camera last month, and I kind of felt bad for, you know, gifting everyone with dead space. Did I get it? No, I need to do a little bit more. That's good enough for now, I think. I want to fiddle with it more later, I can. One thing I've been thinking I need to do is get a screwdriver and take up this guard and clean it. I have been in a spring cleaning mood lately. I tackled my very out of control stamp cabinet. And I've been working in my closet upstairs too. Do y'all do spring cleaning? Oh, Kathleen, hi. Thanks for hopping on. He brought me something from Japan, scrapbook related, but it was Kikuyo. So sometimes people ask me what I use on my photos and why I'm using a different one. And this is just really good adhesive. It's really strong. I put it in the four corners. And so this used to be distributed by 3M. Well, it used to be sold direct. Then 3M bought it. Then Kikuyo couldn't distribute direct in the US anymore. 3M picked up this product of theirs. This used to be Kikuyo brand. And so then you could buy it. You could import it straight from inkjetpens.com, I think. Anyway, long diversion on Kikuyo. But I love that adhesive. All right, so now we're going to work on our last little circle of clusters. I've got washi shavings everywhere. So are y'all dealing with winter making a last stand? Do you see spring heading your way? What's your weather doing? I have gotten to where I have my thermal, I have my long john shirt on underneath. This covers up. That's what we do. This covers up. So we can go about to right here. I'm always cold. We're doing a big trip. I think we leave March the 24th. And so it's overseas. And this morning I went out and added the cities to my weather that we're going to so I can start tracking the weather. We're going to be like at the tail end of their winter and the beginning of their spring. So let's see. This one's going to go right here. This paper pattern has proved to be the most versatile. It's that multi-print with all of those office supply icons, but it's because you get so many different looks on it and it doesn't look like you're using the same thing. Oh, a blizzard in New Hampshire. I saw on the news where all of the travel in New York was halted because of the blizzard. And I have a niece that lives in, what's across the river from Manhattan? The Bronx, maybe? I think that she lives there, and she posted walking her dog outside in the snow. That's devotion. Sheila's getting snow in Kentucky in the 20s. That's disgusting. We got out yesterday and it was so windy. It was so brutal. I didn't want to go out. I'll tell you that. And I think that's what made all of my allergies start kicking up. No good deed goes unpunished. What part of California, do you mind my asking? California gets the great weather. Gosh, so many Beautiful days out there. Okay, so now I can trim. See, this is what I was saying is like the paper's 11 and 15/16. I think I can trim this after the fact. I'm not going to come up against it, but we can start our embellishing now. And 55 minutes in, maybe a little bit faster today. I'm not sure. So I think the first thing we can do, oh yeah, see this right here is going to have to go right there. And I can do that afterwards. I think last month I tried to do it on camera and I ended up being off a little bit and it annoyed me. So I'm like, I'm not going to do that this month. So I've got my 4 from the die cut set. And I'm going to go ahead. My little formula is that goes down here on this white circle. When you do month in review and you embellish like this, do you also have a little formula where you keep some of the icon placement consistent? I just think for me, it eliminates some of the decision making. Oh, San Francisco. Man, do you love that sourdough bread? Do you go to Boudin a lot down by Fisherman's Wharf? Gosh, we haven't been. We're looking at a cruise itinerary that would be West Coast for I don't know when, but we were excited because it stopped in San Francisco, and I want to go to the Disney Museum. So my foam title is Memories. Oh, it's going to cover up little Gojo. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, I can come over like this, maybe. Maybe that's what I should do. Yeah, I can frame him up right there like that. And he's also going to be a little covered right there, but you can still see him. And then we're going to put my April right there. Let's see if I can get some glue onto this. Oh, man. How long have you been making sourdough? That was one thing in the pandemic. You know, it really took off. And I never jumped onto that train. But my daughter-in-law, she has an amazing sourdough starter. And, oh, it's so good. That's cute. Okay. I grabbed the push pin and the paper clip in case I wanted to use them. And I pulled this to come up here. And we're going to put that up on foam. You know, I do some little treatment up here. I think as far as bread goes, you know, what's in it and how it's good for you, I think sourdough is some of the most healthy. Oh, excuse me. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. That's a first. All right, what else do we have out? I had pulled this. I thought this could go right here. I didn't pick everything out because I could only think so far ahead. I couldn't. But I thought if I could get a little farther along, that might be helpful. Let's see. think I'll do it a little offset. Austin, Texas. I have a brother that he raised his kids there, but he is in San Antonio now. I'm going to do that right there. And if I find something that I can tuck in right up there, I will. Okay, so I think we're going to put our phone up on foam. Say that 3 times fast. Because I'm addicted to the pop. Now, we had some here, this right here. See, I can see that working. And let's go on the sticker book. Let's see. I had really liked this, and I thought about picking that up and laying it down, and I think I'm going to do that. I've shared before that they went through a phase on their sticker books where maybe it comes on this side. Yes, I think so. Where they were very thin, and they changed it right before they discontinued them. And I just am so sad they don't make them anymore. I thought they were such a good value. You got so much for, $6 or $7. But if you have the thin ones, if you put the foam on the back, it's like a little bit of a reinforcement. So I had talked about doing a rub-on over here. I think if we go like that. That's a pretty cute little cluster. And I'm finding that a lot of the floral clusters are so big. Is that too much? We can think about it. What else do we need? We need a brad. Here's my sticker sheet. I'm looking for maybe something small right here that would make sense, by itself. I don't see anything. Oh, but what about some phrases? I could pick up this "don't forget this" and come down here with it somewhere maybe. Let me put some foam on the back of it. When we were newly married, Steve worked for Macy's, but he was on the retail side. And so every one-day sale, he would have to work until like midnight or something. And so when we married, I had a car, but he didn't. And so we were a one-car family, and I would actually have to go pick him up when the store closed. And so I started baking bread as a way to pass the time. And then we're both like enrolling in Weight Watchers, and I'm like, I think I got to stop with the bread. I kind of like this small, I don't know. Let's see what else we have. Oh, here's a rubber stamp. That's kind of cute. It'd be a little bigger. Small flowers. That might not be bad. Maybe I should grab this one right here. I kind of don't like these tails on them. Yeah, I'm gonna put, I'm not gonna use these. I'm gonna store it right there. We have the right to change our mind, right? Okay, so what else? I think maybe the only thing I saw that could work would be, well, here's a different floral cluster. The rubber stamp is what I was going to say. I know when I edit my videos, I'm terrible at starting a phrase and then never finishing it. So I apologize for that as I do it again. Okay. Let me just grab one of those stamps and make a decision and move on. I'm going to go for pink. That'd be cute. Let me stabilize that some. Let me get some foam behind it. And it's not because I necessarily need it to have the dimension. It's because it's that thin paperweight and it needs something behind it, to me, to my way of thinking. Let's see. So in March, we'll reach the halfway point on this project. We'll get May and June done. And that's exciting. It's also exciting that my trip doesn't interfere with the dates that I normally go live. So let's see. This is always the very fiddly part. Oh, that flower with the tail might have worked up here. I kind of forgot about embellishing that calendar. Okay. There we go. Just a little bit of something. Man. Okay, I grabbed this floral cluster And we're going to make it work right up there. And I'm going to lay it onto that. I'm just going to put some foam on the edges. And I think another thing I usually put up there is some kind of phrase sticker. There's that. Because, you know, it's spring. You got to have flowers on the spring layout. I'm going to go ahead and stick this down. Okay. Oh, I need to take this down. Let's see. I think I'll go flat with that. I'm going to go ahead and commit. Like that. Okay. And then I've got I need to do one little row of a second layer because this is on foam and that's flat. So just a little bit of support. Foam on foam. I think that's cute. And so see, it's a different shade of the yellow, but I've got it up here. So that was kind of why I thought the phone would work this month. And then I think I am going to run that under right there. Because did we find... We didn't find a rub-on that would work. I could cut this one out and put it right here. And so the reason why is because it's like if you have it, you know, you have to use it. And if I don't force myself to use this stuff, then why buy it? All right. So we're going to go like this because this side is more flat. And I'm going to go just like that. Tuck it up under. And this is my very old school, sorry the camera's going to wobble, basic gray rub-on tool. And the only way you know if you got it all down is to try and take it up. This one is proven to be a little more stubborn. Okay. Then you can come on and burnish it with what the backer paper was. And there, I did it. I used another rub-on. Okay, I think we need to look at Brad's, and then it might be a wrap-up. So I will say the next live is going to be Monday, March the 9th. Y'all, February ends this week. Isn't that crazy? Oh, I've got some more layouts I want to get done in February. And we were going to look at Brad's. That's what we were going to look at. I'm trying to use just not go crazy on them. You know what? Maybe I come up here with one instead of a phrase sticker. And I think that would work because I think all my other little clusters are looking pretty completed. I don't know that I need a little pop on any of the others. All right. I like it. It's so fun to embellish. I need to tape this down. Okay, so I don't know if we have any more housekeeping. I don't think I need to make any more announcements. I mentioned the month in review playlist. I mentioned if you have an opinion, if you'd like to see some lives on an evening or a Saturday, to let me know. And it wouldn't be month in review. This is going to stay here in this time slot. But what do you think? Oh, we had this little foam push pin and paper clip. Nah. I'm not very good at Thank you, Kathleen. Okay. So I think that we're good. I'll do these two little snippets down here, but I think this is a little faster. If I do the wrap up quick, I can finish faster. So thank you so much for hopping on, whether you caught it with me live or on replay. I appreciate so much being able to hop on here and scrap live with you, and I'm getting something fun done, and I hope that you are too. So I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going to take a little break and then I'll clean up the mess and move on to the next project. So I'm going to go ahead and close out this live, catch you on the next one. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me.